What's going on, everyone? Anthony here with AC Toys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, based off your comments in my last review video, you guys wanted to see the Lost Galaxy Pink Ranger review next, so that's what we're doing today. So what we have here is the Wave 14 Power Rangers Lightning Collection Lost Galaxy Pink Ranger or Kendrix. So obviously what you have here is your standard Power Rangers Lightning Collection box for right now. 3D rendering of the figure up front, 3D artwork right there in the corner, Power Rangers Lightning Collection, Lost Galaxy Pink Ranger. More of that 3D artwork right here down the spine. Lost Galaxy logo. The same 3D artwork right here on the back. A scale of the figure. According to the box, this figure is 5.82 inches tall or 148 millimeters. And I think out of the entire wave, she comes with the most accessories. But other than that, legalese at the bottom. Pink on the side. Pink at the top. More legalese at the bottom, but enough of that. Let's go ahead and crack her open and hope everything's inside. And here we have Kendrix out of packaging, looking pretty good so far, but let's go ahead and take a quick look at all her accessories because she does come with quite a bit. So obviously, well, first and foremost, she has her karate chop hand on her out of factory, one closed-fisted hand on her out of factory. Then you have the civilian portrait, if this thing would just focus on her. So, I mean, I didn't see Lost Galaxy, or I didn't watch Lost Galaxy when it first came out, so I can't say more or less if this is her self-portrait, but I've heard some people, it's been really hit or miss. With the glasses on, it really does look like her. Others say it looks nothing like her. I don't know. You really can't make people happy with these self-portraits. No matter how good one is, somebody's always going to hate it. No matter how bad someone is, someone's always going to love it. So anyways, but speaking of glasses, she does come with a little silver glasses accessories. So when you're looking through the bag, please remember to be careful not to throw it away because mine was shoved at least at the very bottom corner. So if you aren't aware that it comes with glasses, you might miss it. And to put them on, they just kind of like slide between her little, like, I don't want to call them bangs, but her little hair sculpting, and it holds in like so. And I don't know. Like I said, I didn't watch Lost Galaxy, so somebody go ahead and tell me if this looks like her or not. So, yeah, there you go. So that are those accessories out of the way. Next up, obviously, you have the Ranger helmet itself, which mine is done very nicely. I don't know what animal she's supposed to be, but it's a cool looking helmet. Silver's done very cleanly. No mishaps on the black. Yeah, and if you guys are wondering what she looks like with the helmet on, go ahead and pop that on, and there you go. Lost Galaxy Pink Ranger. All right, next up, she comes with her trans dagger in like this form. Maybe a bow and arrow. I don't know. I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. As I said, I didn't watch Lost Galaxy, but this is the version of the trans dagger that she comes with. And then as for her other weapons, she comes with a sheath version of the Quasar Saber with the correct animal stamp on her little sheath version. And to port that in, just go ahead and slide it in like so. Okay, it's a little bit, there you go. So be wary, mine was a little bit tight. Seems like it's made out of a harder plastic, how like Dino Fury Green was. And then she also comes with her extended version of the Quasar Saber with the same animal print on the little coin area. So, very nice. And then it comes with this lightning effect that you just kind of like, you know, weave in and out, give it that electricity look. But overall, not too bad. And then she also comes with two weapon holding hands in the packaging. So, all right. As I said, this is the most accessories out of this wave, at least, for one single release figure. But other than that, let's go ahead and move on to details of the figure. So moving on to the details of the figure, it does look like my paint applications are done very cleanly. There is this weird gap right here. Obviously, you know, that's mainly due to like the articulation of the figure. I don't know if it's supposed to reach this far back, but it is kind of annoying that on the older Lost Galaxy figures, they painted the black all the way up. So where like if you did this, it wouldn't show this white gap. But for whatever reason, they didn't do it for the female figure. Not too big of a deal. I'm not going to have her pose like this at all or very often. So, but the paints on the gloves are done very cleanly. There is a little bit of a mishap going on right here, but nothing too bad. It just looks like they didn't put enough white on to like cover up a lot of the pink. Nothing much on the back. Now on camera, I don't think you can tell, but she does suffer from the same issue that all Pink Rangers seem to have in this line, is that where the shades of pink just don't seem to match up. So on her legs, her arms, and her skirt is a darker shade of pink compared to like her ab section, which is like, I wouldn't want to say a hot pink, but mine is definitely a much lighter pink. And that you get onto her collar. Now that is a definite hot pink. Like, it is just completely a complete different shade of pink compared to the rest of the body. But other than that, not too big of a deal. For whatever reason, the Pink Rangers seem to suffer the most from this. I think next up would be the Red Ranger, but yeah, not too bad. Her knees are also a different shade of pink, but not too far off, not as bad as her ab section is. Obviously, she is pinless, so she has the double jointed elbows for the new female body. She is not loose whatsoever. I mean, you know, they're all going to have little loose, but like they're nowhere near as floppy as like the new pinless body is. So yeah, her hair sculpting is done very nicely. No articulation in the ponytail, so don't go twisting that around. I do wish they would have painted her scrunchie. It's a minor nitpick, but you know, just something, you know, black, pink, whatever. Just instead it just looks like she just wrapped her hair around there. But overall, not too bad. As I mentioned, the sheath is a harder plastic, just like the Dino Fury Green, so do be wary when trying to shove your Trans Dagger in there, or your Quasar Saber. So, yeah, put this down, and then the details of the helmet, I showed you that already, but just in case you guys want to see it again, it is done very nicely. So, yeah, let's move on to articulation. So moving on to articulation, she does have the new standard female Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Does do full 360. We'll look up not too well, just like these newer style pegs. This peg is supposed to move, but a lot of it doesn't. So it just mainly rotates full 360. Looks down. Little side to side. The base of the neck does rotate if for whatever reason you need that to rotate. Shoulders will go out about that far. Will rotate inside the butterfly joint. The butterfly joints will go back an ungodly amount. Go forwards an okay amount, not too much. Upper bicep swivel, full 360. Double jointed pinless elbows. Wrist rotation, or actually forearm rotation. Then you have wrist rotation. For these hands, it'll hinge in about that far, hinge out about that far. And then for the weapon holding hands, it'll go up and down instead of in and out. So obviously you have the upper diaphragm, full 360, rock side to side. Lower ab crunch, with all of it bent, she looks down about that far. No waist swivel, drop down hips. So she'll do the splits about that far, but the Trans Dagger sheath, or the Quasar Saber sheath, does hinder it quite a bit on this side. So it's really, since it's part of the skirt itself, you can kind of move it around, but that's about as far as you're going to get. Push those back up. Upper thigh swivel, full 360. Double jointed pinless knees. Boot cuff swivel. Forwards, backwards, left, right. Your standard Hasbro articulation in the ankles, and peg holes at the bottom if you need them. So yeah, your standard Power Rangers Lightning Collection body for the female, which is now completely up to par with the male body Rangers, which in my opinion, they should have done that from the very get-go. But anyways, let's move on to size comparisons. So as far as size comparison goes, here she is next to the current lineup of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Lost Galaxy. We have her next to Magna Defender, blue, green, and red. Yeah, she scales in pretty perfectly, obviously. I don't know her height in the show. As I mentioned, I did not watch the show thoroughly. If I'm not mistaken, there's just a Yellow Ranger left, and that'll complete this Lost Galaxy team. They are really knocking out the teams this year in terms of completion. But yeah, there you go. Lost Galaxy size comparison. Moving on. All right, and here we have her next to the remaining Wave 14 figures. Dr. Tommy Oliver, you have Ollie, Dino Fury Blue, and then Dino Thunder Mesogog. So yeah, guys, what do you think? Wave 14 pretty good? Anyways, let's move on to final thoughts. So moving on to final thoughts, is she a smash? Is she a pass? Obviously, this is a great figure. Nothing wrong with mine. Out of the box, it came just perfect. No loose joints, no broken parts, no missing parts. Obviously, you're going to need her to complete your Lost Galaxy team if that's what you're completing. If not, obviously, you can pass on this figure. But I do highly recommend this figure. Obviously, being a Pink Ranger from a lesser season, this is probably going to go on sale. Not lesser season in terms of like quality, but you know, lesser season in terms of popularity. I don't know if like I could be mistaken on this, but if I am, somebody was gonna let me know. But isn't she the Power Ranger in terms of like on screen? She was the first Ranger to have an on-screen death, and the longest time she was the only Ranger to have an on-screen death, short of like the current reunion special, where obviously, spoiler alerts, Trini gets killed by Rita. But I could be mistaken on that. But if somebody's, you know, more well versed, let me know. And then Corone from In Space Astronema actually ends up becoming the Lost Galaxy Pink Ranger, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't have her head sculpt, obviously, you know, on hand. But we all have seen that Super Mega Force episode where, like, you know, she lifts up her helmet and it flashes her Astronema makeup for like a split second. Anyways, that's just me trying to like catch up on Lost Galaxy. But yeah, I highly recommend this figure. But possibly if you want to, you can go ahead and wait for a sale. I think she will go on sale. A lot of these Power Rangers Lightning collections tend to go on sale if it's not MMPR or Tommy. So yeah, guys, highly recommend this figure. So I only have one more figure to review in this wave. That will be Ollie, the Dino Fury Blue Ranger. And if you guys want to see that, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to make sure you get notifications on when that video gets released. So until next time, later.